Welcome to another episode of the Growth Unleashed podcast, where we speak with CEOs, founders, leaders of tech and SaaS companies, discussing various different growth strategies that they have leveraged in building the business to where it is today, and looking at how they plan to grow it going forward, ideally with AI as part of the whole strategy. And we'd like to introduce today, we have Tomas Milar. Tomas is the CEO founder of Eqvista. Eqvista is a fintech company that helps small and mid-sized businesses with their funding strategies and how they track that. But I don't want to steal the thunder. I think he can do it better than me. So with that, let me just introduce Tamar. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, my name is Tomas Milar. I'm founder of Eqvista, equity management and valuation company. What do we do the best? We do lots of valuations. To be more precise, we have done over $200 billion in clients' assets valuations, and we add roughly, depends on how many new clients we get every month, but on average, $5 billion. But last month, October, we did something over $25 billion in clients' assets valuations. So if you need to value company, either ordinary common stocks, you might know the tax code 409A section. That's how the valuation is called, 409A valuation, or fair market value for preferred stocks. We are the best company out there. So happy to help you with that.
Great. Sounds good. No, sounds amazing. I mean, that's an impressive dollar valuation that you've brought in here recently, and that you continue to do so. So, tell me a little bit about the origins of the company. Tell me about how you founded the company, how long ago it was, and a little bit of the origins of it.
Yeah. So I started Eqvista 2018 as with one software engineer. Prior to that, I had I still have multiple companies. Started back in 2010 in Hong Kong as a compliance platform. The company name is Startup R Hong Kong Limited. So what do we do? Startup R, we help with incorporations. So we help you with company formation, auditing. So we were managing equities for founders technically since 2011 in Hong Kong. So I moved to Hong Kong 15 years ago. It was the best place to start, especially after 2008. Credit crunch. US and Europe were kind of still recovering. So I moved to Beijing for a few months, then Hong Kong, and I spent there my whole 20s focusing on compliance, company formation. We became quite large. We became number one after 2 years because we were the only one who would incorporate company online. It was quite primitive start. We would use WordPress to collect clients' data. Company formation. What do you need? Director, shareholders, initials, names, emails. Back then, there was not really any due diligence back then. So it was quite simple. Now it's completely different business. I wouldn't probably start the same company over again, especially with the government scrutinies now. So we were always in equity management, simple cap table, 2 founders, 3 founders, ordinary stocks. And then in 2010, I moved to Las Vegas, where we acquired one of the largest registered agent in Nevada. Registered agent, you need registered agent when you setting up a company, LLC, C Corp. So that's what we acquired. And the same year we started CPA firm in Hong Kong. So from there, we had a bunch of people, very successful people on our team. So like, folks, let's start equity management platform. So that's how we started. So we started equity management platform. with a team, we acquired and built companies. So it was quite easy.
And that was how long ago? How many years you said?
It was 2018, but for 2 years there was
2018.
just only one software engineer and bunch of
Gotcha. Gotcha.
marketing people, because I'm a big believer in search engine optimization. I think the SEO, not as much as today, because, it would take you probably 5-6 years. But over the years, we became the largest equity Wikipedia on the market, 3,000 websites, for probably now close to 3.5, covering different topics in regards to the equity, private equity.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, and I think, just for the sake of maybe a lot of people listening, but you do, I think it's just, such a very niche area of just the financial services world. And a lot of people listening might not have any understanding of what it takes to value and fund companies, small, who are trying to grow. Tell a little more like what you do. What do you do differently? I mean, like, how do you differentiate yourself from others out there, and what exactly does that consist of?
That's quite funny, interesting question, and I can't understand why the others entrepreneurs don't really understand the basics, right? Like we built companies for clients, right? So you actually work backwards from the client's experience. So what's very important for the client? Speed. It's extremely important. Speed. Speed is probably the most important to me. Speed,
Sure.
price. I see us as a very successful uh, food company, or any successful franchise out there. So the speed, we answer emails within 5-10 minutes. That's our rule when the office is open. We also have a support overnight, but mostly we cover US market, because that's where our clients are. So the speed, price, we are 70% less expensive than anybody else. And that's hard to beat. So the speed and
Mm-hmm.
price, to me, was always focus number one in any company I ever started.
Yeah. No, that's good. Those are some big differentiators for sure. So how are you getting your clients, like, as you've grown the organization, as you've grown the business? What's your method in getting the name out there, getting these differentiators out there, really just promoting your brand and bringing on new business?
Yeah, so all our clients are organic. So we
Your
started
clients are what? Sorry? Oh,
organic.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
organic. So we started 2018. The platform, we launched the platform February 2020. So it took us 2 years. We were working on the marketing even before the product was launched. That was the key. And we're actually opening now. We just opened a office in Monterey, California. That's where our head of revenue is.
Mm,
We hired a bunch
nice
of
location.
people. Yes, very nice location. Yeah, we
Mm,
just wanted to, we don't make problems where problems are not problems. So if one of our strong team member is based in North Pole, we would open office there. So it's more about people than some kind of old rule that you have to be based in San Francisco, New York, right?
mhm,
We are
mhm.
San Francisco based company. That's how we see each other. We see us. And people are happy. Our employees are extremely happy, and we can serve clients.
And how many employees do you have today?
So we have over 55 employees.
Okay. And describe what's your ideal, like, your ICP, your ideal customer profile? I mean, what types of businesses do you go after?
So it comes from the product, right? So we can serve any client, and I really mean any client. So we serve safe, safe, uh, safe clients, meaning from the funding round, um, all the way to IPO company, because sometimes even the IPO companies need our service. So we
Mm,
serve. We are stage agnostic, industry agnostic, but for us it's more excitement because valuation is very um, labor intensive product. Even though with the AI, you should still have a analyst overseeing the results. So the best clients, obviously, AI is super hot. We would definitely welcome AI clients, but we have a life science. We even don't have a clients from space, aerospace
Mhm.
industry, pharmaceutical companies. We also advise on different M&A. So if you need valuation because you are growing the company by acquisitions. We currently have a client, they grow by acquisition only. So they have a special purpose vehicle SPV and they are buying companies left and right. So
Mhm.
that's our specialty.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you partner a lot with companies who, I mean, I imagine you're partnering with like companies who are doing a work and
Yes,
venture
yes, yes.
capitalists, stuff like that.
Yes, venture capital, mostly private equity because venture capitalists, they mostly agree on the price internally.
Okay.
Uh, and private equity, it's more stable market. So that's where you get
Yeah.
us involved. So yeah, but
What
again, our best client, the best profile, yeah, it's venture backed, venture.
venture backed. Okay. Okay. But for the most part, I mean, I would imagine you mentioned IPO companies, but I mean, for the most part, you're really focusing on pre-IPO, right? I mean,
Pre-IPO
fund companies.
companies, yes,
Yeah.
pre-IPO companies, pre-IPO, so all the way from the safe note uh, companies all the way to pre-IPO.
Got it. So what industries are you seeing right now? Are you seeing a lot of demand for your services right now?
AI, mostly the AI
Mm,
companies, but it's kind of confusing because I feel like all the companies are AI companies, and
everybody is now.
I
Yeah.
have a I have a problem to understand what that means. I see AI companies, just 3, 5 players.
Mm,
Um, who are actually build models themselves. The rest, it doesn't mean that you are a butcher. I see sometimes the companies that are butchers in the 90s. They put a W's um, in front of the name. That was the cool part, right? I think even Amazon was Amazon.com, right? So that's how I see it. And
yeah. Yeah.
Amazon
Yeah.
was clear internet company, right? But I see it irrelevant company. They have a XYZ.ai and they think that it's AI company. But yeah, but I don't want to lower the business value they bring to the market. But it's mostly AI companies.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's a good transition, a good segue. So what are you all doing right now to, leverage AI, take advantage of AI? How are you seeing it impacting your business going forward?
So for us, it's mostly on the so we have a vision, right? So we built a real time valuation, and the real time valuation it's simply stock value or ticker for a privately owned company. So you can see the stock price of your company in real time with a graph, market comparables, news, trends. We came up with multiple financial modeling, waterfall analysis, run modeling. So we add multiple features under the main graph. I can actually show you how it looks like. But yeah, so that's what we currently build. So a pricing infrastructure for private markets. So the AI at this point should help us to design the workflow, meaning not just to extract and do calculation, but also decide which model to use. Because the valuations are done based on a different data set you get from the client, business nature, and company stage, and that's something what it's sometimes very hard to understand. Sometimes you get a feedback from the client because they describe the company as a SaaS business, but then you realize that it's marketplace. So that's valued
Mm,
differently. Marketplace It's evaluated 5 to 8 multiples. SaaS companies could be 25, 20, 25. So that's very important to understand what we need to teach our AI component or our agents in the decision tree.
Okay, got it. So what does the future look like for the company? Tell me about what you see as far as the vision in the next 6 months.
Yeah. So again, I'm a big believer that every single company should have stock price available for their shareholders, not necessarily for public. But you can also open the valuation for the public. So there's a very good example. Imagine, Glenn, you have a company, $50 million revenue, even though $10 million revenue, right? And you need to understand that shares is not just a proof of ownership, but it's also a tool how you can finance your growth, right? So it's either through equity round or even though debt round. So we are building, we build real-time valuation, and we try to teach founders, CEOs, CFOs, because these people are mostly our how to use real time for funding round, because it will show you what's the stock price of your company with reasoning, right? So we issue stock price with a report, so it's not just a graph. We have several certifications, so we can certify the report, and that should help you to raise more money or not overvalue the company. Because even though you raise $20 million seed round on $100 million valuation, and if you don't deliver, right, then you have to go through a down round, and which is not very beneficial for the company. So the price discovery, it's very important. So one, fundraise, then we have banking, right? You can go to banks and get a loan against the equity, not just as on company level, but there is also there's a new segment, secondaries. Even though it has been here forever, the secondary market, that's where the pricing infrastructure is also very important, because you can see the founders or employees selling their stocks on the secondary market 40-60% lower than the original price. So they discount the stocks quite well. So going back to your questions, you would like to focus heavily on promoting the price, the stock price for the companies. Open that not just to founders and CEOs, CFOs, but also to shareholders.
Sure.
Because you can solve multiple problems. There are companies, they try to solve the secondary market. They raise a bunch of money or equity, and they try to sell them on the market. And they think they have the leverage because they have a $200, $300, $400 million fund. But the real problem is that they don't understand the price. So that's what I see the biggest pitfall, the price of the stock. So not just for the fundraising for banks, but also for the secondaries. Because think about it: if you have employee of small company, not really small company, but $500 million company, because the valuations are crazy, right? And you want to buy a house, you own $400,000 of stocks. You are fully vested. You exercise the options. So what do you do now, right? The market is not really liquid. And somebody's going to come and say, hey, Glenn, I'm going to buy the stocks, but I'm willing to pay 40-60%. But if the company would open the price to share.
Yeah.
Pricing mismatch will disappear, right?
Well, it provides transparency, right? Increased transparency. Yeah.
You know, so all of a sudden you can go back to your to the buyer, the stock buyers, like, hey, look, like I'm willing to go down 5% or not even that, to the full price. And that's also very important for the founders, because when founders go and try to raise under the round. They have a problem to raise money because the investors would argue that, hey, look, one of your employees just sold the stocks on the secondary market with 40 or 60% discount.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have a
Mm-hmm.
4.9 evaluation. You try to keep it as low as possible for the tax purposes of the tax implication for the shareholders. Then you have a preferred stock valuation. You try to sell the preferred stocks for as much as you can, and then you have a secondaries. So there are three prices for one simple item, and we'd like to make sure that people understand what's the real price of
Yeah.
the stock. The money will follow. The money will follow, right? So but the
Well,
pricing infrastructure.
transparency is key. I mean, that's critical in any decision making. So no, that makes sense. So let me ask one more. So I always like to ask, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you look to change, or what improvements or changes would you make to the business to help it grow more rapidly in the next 6 months or so?
I think. Do you mean for our company? Yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
right.
For your business, yeah.
For our business, sales for us is the most important thing. So for us, revenue, the product is amazing. We onboard thousands of clients every year. We don't even onboard one of the big names in the kind of the hot market, so we don't have a problem with the product at all. So for us, it's just the scale and
Gotcha. No, that's perfect. Awesome. All right, Tomas. Well, look, appreciate the time. Perfect time. It sounds like you just got a call, but no, thanks for the time today. Just real quick, if anybody wants to learn more about Eqvista, we're getting in touch with you or the right people in the company, where can they learn more?
yes, you can call me, or probably not now, but later. Call eqvista.com. If you can and put my email address below, that will be fine in the comment. Let's say I can do it.
Okay.
I,
Better watch
I'm
out.
I'm always I'm always open to any emails. I was always transparent with my email address. I'm happy to take any client or suggestions. And yeah, thank you so much, Juan, for having me.
Great. Awesome, Tomas. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it.